his little sperm injection and make that greater than the woman processing the sperm, carrying the baby 9 months, pushing the baby out, and then raising it till it becomes an adult. Now, come on now. We all know that that is the greatness of the female, not the man. He just got him some coochie. And half the time, they don't be around for the son or the daughter any damn way. So we all know that the true reality around our regeneration on this earth is the female, which will make this world should be called womankind, not mankind. Okay? Let's all understand that. All right. Here we go. By 2012 and 2013, okay, let me start right here. On one level, this means that spiritually, the female will now have her turn to lead mankind, womankind, into the new light. And eventually, this female spiritual light will permeate the entire range of human experience, from female leaders in business and religion to female heads of state. By 2012-2013, this female spiritual light will become so strong as to become obvious to all who live in this dear planet, and will continue to grow for thousands of years. Okay, for many of you, none of this will probably make any sense until you read chapters 2 and 3. Chapter 2 is the cosmic knowledge of what is actually occurring in nature, in the stars, and how it relates to the new cycle of light. Chapter 3 is the history of what the ancient cultures understood about this sacred event up to this present time. This prepares you for the content of the book. Beginning with chapter 4 will be the stories of my personal experience involving with this serpent of light, and the hundreds of indigenous tribes and cultures that have secretly helped guide this spiritual energy from Tibet to its new home in South America. Coming out of Tibet into India, it then moved in a snake-like manner to almost every country in the world until it reached Chile, the new home of the earth, Kundalini, the new Tibet. Okay, listen to this. Let me explain something to you guys. If it's in Chile, then why am I here in Vancouver, Washington, telling you guys that Vancouver, Washington is the city of God? You see, this serpent power energy, this Kundalini energy is everywhere. It permeates. He just said it right here. He said it himself, that it permeates in all things, and it does. He just said, I just read that somewhere. But I'm not going to go back looking for it, because you just don't have to take my word on that, all right? Okay, what has occurred in the world along this path that the Earth's Kundalini has taken is almost unbelievable. People from different cultures and countries all cooperating together. See, now that's what I'm talking about. That is what this light does. That is why they always come up and be trying to plan these mass murders. They know that when consciousness is time for the people to start waking up, what they do is cause starvation, cause lack of jobs, everything that could put you in despair and get your mind off of returning to the light. This is how evil they are. This is why they do all this stuff, because they know when the light come to wake you up, if you busy trying to find food or busy trying to stay warm, especially the black people, they want to kill our asses so bad, because we're the ones who can bring the Kundalini spirit. And that's the reason they target us black men to kill us the most, because they know if the black man is not here strong to push the woman energy through, that the woman will die. And that's the reason why our race is dying, because we have no black man that's pushing true knowledge into our black women, so they growing up worshiping white man Jesus, and that's making us all die. Okay, they can't even worship their own selves, when it's like, why can't you see yourself being a goddess? If you could see a white man being a god, and then you completely overlook his mother as being a goddess of him, because they teach you that foolishness, and that's the reason why you can't see yourself as being a goddess. Okay. All right. Okay. So as though they were coordinated by higher powers simply for the good of human life, and without the spiritual assistance, I believe humanity will be unable to evolve to the next level of consciousness, and crucial to our very survival. That's right. We all on the brink of dying right now. Like I told you, the rejection of this African knowledge of self and the Kundalini spirit being replaced with some dead white man spirit is the reason why these white men is in the position right now to murder all our asses on this planet, because we've been worshiping dead and giving dead the status of God, and this dead is only doing what dead can do with all the power, and I mean make more dead, regenerate its own dead self. That's what's going on. Okay, for me, the call of this way of life was so strong that I felt like I had no choice. Same way I feel. It simply began to happen all around me as I follow my inner guidance. Same thing I claim. But I am not the only one. There are tens of thousands of people, most indigenous people, who have been led by a deep inner guidance from 1949 to the present to help to bring this unyielding white snake. No, it's not no white snake. It's not. Let me tell you why it's not. You can't even get white people to talk about this. They don't know what the hell it is, most of them. And why do it have to be a white snake? Where do you see any damn white snakes at? It's like unheard of. But this is the whitewash shit always goes on. And that's what I'm talking about this book. It is not called the white snake. It is called the Kundalini energy, the serpent power energy. Nothing about no damn white snake. To his new locations high in the Andes Mountains in Chile, where it now finally resides. Every place he's at is land of black people. He ain't said it was nowhere in Europe, but then all of a sudden it comes out to be the great white snake. Not only is this a shift of spiritual power from the male to the female, but it's also a spiritual power shift from Tibet and India to Chile and Peru, the light of the world that has been nurtured and expanded with the Tibetan and Indian cultures. Now see, that's not true, because Tibet and Indian cultures are not the only people that push this serpent power energy through. As a matter of fact, the people that you see with the serpent on their head to show that they was vibrating on the serpent power energy is the Egyptians, the persons that he has not mentioned yet, but he'll get around to that later after he do everything he can to push us away from that being the true area of this serpent power energy. Because every book I've read about the serpent power energy speaks about the Egyptians pushing that down. There ain't never one book have I read say anything about it being in South America and this and that. I just knew that naturally, but this is the first book that ever said anything about it being in those places. But I knew it had been there because I could see the structures around there. And I knew by looking at the structures that these people had to have their pineal glands open to build those structures. Okay? All right. These are my personal stories, and I have followed my inner guidance, helping bring balance to a troubled world. My training has been to stay connected with Mother Earth and Father Sky within a secret place within my heart. Okay. Now, you can call the Earth Father or Mother, whatever you want to. And you can call the Sky Father or Mother, whatever you want to. Either, any aspect of life, you can look at it as being male or female according to how you want to play it. But I'm going to tell you something. If you want to be healthy and you want the universe to bless you and you be wise, you're going to have to pay respect to the goddess energy around this earth, because that is the supreme energy. And just take my word on that. Okay. These are my personal stories. As I have followed my inner guidance, helping bring balance to a troubled world, my training has been to stay connected with Mother Earth and Father Sky within a secret place within my heart. It is very simple. Once one is connected to the Divine Mother and Father in this way, life becomes one miracle after another. Never could anyone plan these kinds of stories. They are conceived from outside myself in the nature that surrounds us. Some of these stories break the laws of physics, but not the laws of our mother. Like I said, life is amazing. In 1971, two softly glowing spirits of light, one a bright green and the other an ultraviolet color, entered into the room where I was meditating and identified themselves by saying, "We are not separate from you. We are you." Now see, I told you guys, that's what the sun said to me. As a matter of fact, I went to the sun today. I was meditating, and when I was meditating, this big road came down from the sun. It was golden yellow, and I saw the road, and I stepped on the road, and I started walking up the road, and the next thing I know, I turned into a light, and I just went fast, and I was flying up that road. And then I turned from light into fire, and I flew right into the sun, like I was one of those light ships, and I flew right into the sun. And when I got into the sun, I landed on the road, and I started walking, and my family was there. I was walking around on the sun as fire with family members, and we had houses there and everything. We had houses, whole neighborhoods in the sun. I was so outdone when it was so beautiful. I was on the sun, people living in the sun. It makes sense. People live on every other planet, but think about it. People actually living in the sun. I'm telling you, cities in the sun. I've been there and saw them. And all for certain, the same inner light is within your heart. Also, no one is special in the eyes of God. We are all exactly the same, for there is only one spirit that moves through absolutely everything and everyone. It is the simple truth of reality as spoken by St. Thomas in his Gospel of the Christ. God is all around you and within you. It is easy in this modern world with the images of television and the see images of television and the internet flooding the mind to forget the truth of our reality. Just look at the moon. I mean, really look at the moon, and it is to sense the incredibleness of our existence. So the truth is still the truth, no matter how much man distorts it. That's absolutely right. And from 1972 until 1941, I studied with these spirits of light. I told you guys, they make you study. I told you that. That's just what they did to me. They made me study. Okay, spirits of life subject that the world has named sacred geometry. I always tell you guys about this geometric formation of the earth and how important it is. What earth gave us certain geometric formations for a purpose, which showed me for certain that all of creation was created by a single pattern, the flower of life. This gave me the proof that my mind needed to understand that there is only one consciousness in this one universe, and this undeniable proof let my mind surrender to my heart. Finally, life began in a simple way, in what could be called the original way. To let you know a little bit more about myself, I offer the following. I graduated from, I don't want to read all that. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to want to, okay, your heart, nothing needs to be done to bring change. It will happen automatically with grace. But to reach your heart, as every indigenous tribe I know has told me, you must first remember your divine mother. Just told you that. If you remember this first, great understanding of all indigenous people on earth, then the inner meaning of what is given within will appear. Your mother is alive and very much consciousness, very much conscious, extremely conscious beyond what 21st century industrialized man understands. They mean white man. Earth is not a rock. She has a name and a personality. And the reason I know they mean white man is because this world we live in right now is so patriarchal, where these guys call their mothers bitches and can't wait for them to die so they can inherit their freaking materialism and all that foolish ass greedy shit that goes on. Okay, Earth is not a rock. She has a name and a personality in the cosmos. And believe me, she knows your name. And it is her spirit, the spirit of Mother Earth, that is behind each one of these stories. It is she who created these stories that, woven with thousands of other stories from other men and women worldwide, will surely lead to an entire transformation of humanity. When you finish these stories, how could you know how much your mother loves you? And in gratitude, how could you not offer your service to your mother, niece, or anyone? Now listen, I'm going to tell you guys something on that note. When I moved out of that apartment on 4th Plain, I was speaking mantras. I need help, I'm getting ready to be homeless like everybody on the world. Every day I go out in the street, I see more homeless people, okay? Just because it's deliberate. Deliberately making y'all white people homeless. Now I'm doing what they've been doing to us forever, okay? So my circumstance is, I ended up, this is what happened. I'm walking down the street one day, I'm speaking mantra. I don't know how it works, so by speaking mantra, true enough, this guy pulled up one day in a car. Old white man. Old, tired as hell, shaky. Looked like he died. I'm looking at him, I'm saying, this man gonna die. I could see it in him. He had death all around him. Now here he is riding around. He needs somebody to help him out because he's living alone and he ain't got nobody helping him, all by himself. So he come up to me because the old bastard he needed somebody to help him, but he cheap, didn't want to pay no one. So his mind telling him, I know what I do. I just ride around and look for some nigger that done been victimized by our policies on the earth and bring him home and make a slave out of him. So true enough, he see me out there. He come up talking to me. Well, you want to make some money? I'm like, what? Okay, so I go to his house. I wash his car for him and everything. He give me $20. Then he take me back home. But then me and him talking and everything, and I tell him, I say, well, yeah, I got about another week, I guess, before I have to move out of here. And then when I was at his house washing his car, he took me in the house and he told me that, he said, do you know anybody would like to rent this room for me right here? And I told him, when I got back out, I told him, well, the apartment that I live in right now, I'm getting ready to be